Motion man through the backfield. Shedeur takes a snap, drops to throw, scans, throws over the middle. Mikey Harrison, Graham with the 5, end zone, touchdown. To his right is Dylan Edwards, drops. Here comes pressure, throws it back to the end zone, and it's caught. A 2-point conversion. Xavier Weaver takes a snap, scans, steps up, looking to throw, rifles it to the end zone, and it's picked off by TREVOR Woods, and the Buffs win in double overtime. What a Rocky Mountain showdown! Well, there's the scoring in the second overtime. Mikey Harris with a touchdown, Xavier Weaver with 2-point conversion, and then TREVOR Woods with the interception that sealed it back in the Buffalo Stampede. Buffs win over the Rams. Rocky Mountain showdown, double overtime. Andy LINDAHL, our silent reporter, voice of the Buffs. Mark Johnson. That was something, wasn't it?
Yeah. Wasn't a game I necessarily expected, right? That's for sure, because
it's a rivalry game.
It is a rivalry game. You know what? I was feeling good about things. You pulled an Alan Roach on me. I can remember prior to the Seattle Super Bowl, I'm sitting in a press box, and Alan Roach looked at the Seattle defense's numbers, and he goes, these are equal with Baltimore. We could be in trouble. And I don't do that to me. Then you came out with, what did you say, the last 6 times? Whoever was ranked in the showdown did not win. Yeah. And I'm like, Mark, why do you got to drop a number like that? I felt good about everything I saw throughout the week. Listen, you and I talked about it last week. It is a rivalry. It meant a lot to those kids. They came out with a big attitude. They wanted to prove things to the whole world. They were ignored by the entire media world, and they came out and took out their frustrations on the Buffs tonight. So that played into it a lot. But listen, the CSU quarterback is legitimately good.
Yeah,
I told you.
He's good.
I was tweeting highlights, and I got some CSU fans going, oh, you've been exposed. Oh, you're not that good. And I want to write back and just say, why? You telling me your team stinks? Did you not see the third down throw to the tight end where there was coverage draped all, like CU's linebacker could not have covered him any better, and the throw was just right in there. Coach Gary Barnett raved about it time after time, how he made the right reads, and now we see how CU adjusts.
Yeah, the 2 quarterbacks were outstanding. Shedeur Sanders was a monster in this ball game. We're going to talk more about the defense, but right now, let's see a post-game conversation we had with TREVOR Woods. Take us to your interception that ended this ball game. So it's double overtime. You guys have got the lead. You know that you've got to get a stop. You know, certainly it would be nice to keep them out of the end zone, which you ultimately did. Take us through that play.
Yeah, I was telling the guys actually before. I was like, all right, guys, I'm going to get a game win. I was like, I'm going to get the game winning pick right here, and I'm going to punt it into the stands. That was exactly what I did. But yeah, no, I mean, I really probably could have just batted it down, but who wants that, though? So.
You got to come away with the interception situation like that. I mean, that's a great highlight, right?
Got to get the highlight, got to get the stat,
Hey, end of regulation. Okay, it's 28-20. CSU gets a great punt, goes out of bounds at the 2. 98-yard field. You're on the defense. You're standing at the sideline. Number 2 runs on out there. What are you thinking at that point in time?
I always have confidence in 2. Despite having as a team having a rough game, I always had confidence in him. He's one of the best players in the country. So,
I'll tell you what, though, the Buffs now 3-0. Here you sit, undefeated, non-conference slate is over. 2 of these games have been awful tough, right? I mean, the TCU game a couple of weeks ago, back and forth. This one here, back and forth. Well, what do games like this say about kind of the heart and intestinal fortitude of this team?
Coach talks about it at halftime and just throughout the game, we got a lot of guys who've faced personal adversity. We just got to see how we are as a team through adversity, and so far we've faced it pretty well.
There's TREVOR Woods. By the way, the punt after the interception was not a good punt. He punted that one about 12 yards. That's why he's a defensive back and not a punter. We continue with Andy LINDAHL. Hey, that defensive side of the ball, though. They struggled all night with the game plan that the Rams had, but boy, they made plays when they had to. Very timely tonight.
They were very timely. It was a little like the TCU game, was it not? I mean, they didn't make all the plays, but they made the plays that they needed to in order to get the win. Now you've got something else that you've been shown. We've got to remember, and you remind them during the game all the time, we've got a lot of new players playing together for the first time in a scheme for the first time. So now another little flaw maybe has been shown to them. Now they get a chance to try to correct it, because we know with the speed Oregon has, they're probably going to see a healthy dose of that.
Yeah.
But again, it all comes back to Shedeur, doesn't it?
It really does.
We talk about plays that need to be made. Shedeur Sanders on the 2-yard line doing his own little mini. The stakes weren't the same, but he got his own little mini John Elway moment and took him 98 yards. And then, they complete the 2-point conversion. Shedeur was just great. And he used his legs. And maybe that unlocks a little cheat code for the Buffs to get a run game going moving forward.
Yeah, by the way, Shedeur had about 40 yards rushing in this ballgame. You and I, over the years, covering college, covering NFL, you see a lot of great quarterbacks in both levels. This guy is right in there with all the great ones we've kind of watched. I mean, he really is special.
Yeah, because nothing phases him. Look, nothing was going right all night for them. The protection was struggling. The blitzes were getting to him. He'd been hit a few times. His guys weren't running wide open. CSU did a really good job defensively, too. And Shedeur comes out there, doesn't blink. His guys believed. He got it done. The jump pass to get the 2-point conversion in the second overtime that went to Xavier Weaver was awesome. Weaver, I told you, just back in the end zone, just plunked it with both hands. Really, really fun game. And now we see what this leads to next. Look, they're halfway to bowl eligibility.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's the first job, right, is get bowl eligible.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Buffalo's 3-0. They wrap up the non-conference slate undefeated. Now get ready for the Oregon Ducks coming up next week at Addison Stadium. That's Sound reporter Andy Lindahl. We're going to take a quick time out here to Buffalo Stampede. More post-game as we continue to talk with players in a moment.